Hi, today we're going to talk about Buxus blight and downy mildew. Two common problems when it's wet and warm. So that's during spring season and again possibly in autumn if you get a wet autumn. So some of the symptoms are quite difficult to understand, but I have the perfect example here. I have a lovely big magnificent Buxus hedge which looks perfectly healthy. But inside, Buxus blight has started. So Buxus blight is a fungal disease that causes your leaves to drop off, and if it's not halted and eradicated, it will actually kill your Buxus completely. Now, a couple of years ago we had some really bad Buxus blight on this particular hedge, and we had to cut it back very hard so that we could get the spray right inside. And as you can see, inside the hedge is quite bare, and in here where it's thick and close and there's no air movement, the blight is really set in. Whereas on the outside of the hedge, where there is air movement and the light and the wind can get at it, it's quite healthy. So that is a sure sign that you've got blight in your Buxus. So it's very important that you get onto it as soon as you've noticed any signs that look anything like this. Luckily there is a product that fixes this called Buxus Blight Fighter, so it's not hard to remember, is it? A couple of years ago when we had really bad blight in this same hedge, the same spot, we brought it down to this high. It was a bit of a disastrous look, but it was the only way we could really get in and spray and eradicate the blight that was inside. And then you can see it's only 2 years from then, and you would really hardly know that we'd ever had blight in this hedge, except if you have another look in the middle, now have the blight back. But we'll get on to spraying this now, and we'll have it sorted within a month. Because we've caught the blight early this year, we're literally just going to take the top 6 inches off and just bring the hedge down to here so we can get the spray right inside. So this is the Buxus Blight Fighter you need to save your Buxus with. It's a systemic fungicide, but it still is really good if you can get it all over the entire bush. Get the sprayer right inside where there's no light and spray everything that you possibly can. The more coverage you can give it, the better. Now, Buxus Blight Fighter kills all the nasties in the ground, but it also eradicates some of the good things as well. So when I'm spraying for Buxus blight, I add in to my sprayer the organic root grow, and that puts back all the goodies into the soil. And I also add in the Biopower seaweed flake. It's made from a North Atlantic harvested seaweed, and it's got lots more nutrients in it than any other seaweed in the world. So when you're spraying, you can put all 3 of these ingredients together. You can knock off the Buxus blight, feed the soil and feed the foliage at the same time. These leaves come from an Indian hawthorn and show a classic symptoms of downy mildew. And these would look pretty much exactly the same if it was on a rose. Now the difference between downy mildew is that it's slightly reddish in colour, slightly splotchy rather than a dot, and you can see it on the reverse quite clearly, whereas black spot is obviously black and it's more a spot and not a splotch, and it's not as clearly visible on the reverse. Here I am in front of my old Rose Mutabilis, who's really tough, but should she get downy mildew, this is the product I'm going to use again, which is the Buxus Blight Fighter. Now, it doesn't really say anything about using it on roses, but on the reverse it does. And this is the only product really on the New Zealand market that will kill downy mildew on roses.